in terms of your art? Did you try to change things to it?
I thought it might be worth it, but ang sabi ko, the funny thing about change is that we don't do it in our lifetime. That's one of the acceptances I got by the time I was in my late 30s, early 40s. Kasi siyempre before that, sabi mo, yeah man, we're gonna make a difference and we're gonna fight everything and we're going to topple the structures and change
Yeah.
life. My trip is, can we get living to a kind of equilibrium, an equilibrium where we're all kind of happy and not pestering each other or exploiting each other too much so that we can live, ika nga, live and let live. Pero not everybody's getting tried out by somebody's big swimming pool. Diba? Parang yun yung whole idea.
And
But you push all your life. Ako, that's where I feel I can consistently be. Sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes it's just waking up in the morning and saying yes to the push. I might not be in that generation that changes things, but I might at least have been in the cohort, been in the community of people who might be linked to building that community from which other people might want to build.
Did you ever doubt ba na this is the path na you were really locked in?
That's the one thing about me. That's where my angas comes from. I never doubted. I keep telling this to people. I had this little memorable moment when I was in second year college and I just turned 18. I was climbing up the second to third floor and I looked at the library. Sabi ko, daming art book dyan. Then I told myself when I got to the landing between the second and the third floor, eto gusto kong sa buhay ko as 18. I somehow, on one nice moment na maganda gising, told myself, ito gusto kong gawin. Did I know how I was going to do it? No. And I was talking to myself, sabi ko, gusto ko ito.
Sir Boogie,
Yes!
thank you for agreeing to this interview.
Oh, yeah. This should be fun.
The
Forgive me
the
for being a cantankerous on-time guy, but this should be fun.
it's already starting to be really fun.
Oh, no.
So we've gone through lengths doing the set. This is the first time actually have a centerpiece.
Ayan,
I know.
it was just there. And sabi mo, maliit. Sabi ko, and I think, yeah, it has something to do with the justice system, the Banana Republic, the Communist Revolt, all of the young people who died in Taboso, So sabi ko, yeah, mukhang pwede siyang i-reference.
Ayun, sir. We're going to do something a little different with this part with you.
Yeah.
I know. Kasi usually yung format ko is I ask the artists about their process in working.
Sure.
I'm not going to ask you that.
Why not? You should start there, then we'll move on.
Hindi, sir. I'm going to, I want to make it reflective
Well,
during these episodes. Kasi we've had the most interesting conversations during openings eh.
ang fear ko lang is you have to be worried that I'm out of control, so I'm actually abiding by your structure.
Yes.
Oh, so
I'll lead you.
you set the question, we will exchange from there.
Okay.
If you let me, I'm out of control.
Okay. Ayun, sir. So, this was during your opening with Sir Benjo Luntok sa Kaida
Okay,
a few weeks back.
correct.
So, we were outside
April 12, yeah.
April 12. So, we were outside yung standing table.
Ah,
And you shared with me your idea of paradise, of heaven.
yeah. Paraiso.
Paraiso, yes.
Paraiso.
It's an interesting take na people would think twice before, alam mo yun, defining their idea of heaven. Can you share that with us?
Just recently, in fact, because of my bad knee, I was spending more time trying to recuperate, and I was watching an old Lucchino Visconti movie called The Stranger. It's about the novel of Albert Camus, the existentialist who thought of everything as absurd. And I have always been, since the 70s, interested in existentialism more than in yung post-life heaven. But sabi ko, what if nga actually you were born into heaven? What if instead of spending whatever painful or comfortable or prosperous life just to get into heaven, that was your chance. When you got there and you lived with your parents and you grew up and you became a person, then you were moving around in heaven. And most of us, I think, are lucky enough to have happy families. Some people are born into hell and they have to make heaven out of it. Di ba? Parang ganun. So, yeah, but sabi ko, I've been holding on to that idea since the last 20 years. Na sabi ko, oh nga eh, tayo na. Ano nga ba itsura ng heaven? And I'm a heaven freak from art. Me and Denkoy went to Venice and we looked at Paraiso by Tintoretto. Man, like it's like as big as 2 buildings. And it shows all the angels surrounding Christ and the Virgin, ano? Sabi ko, yun ba talaga pupuntahan natin? Sabi ko, what if you went to some place na singganda ng Teacher's Village pala? Or I'm sure where you grew up in Bicol was beautiful. Was it ugly?
It wasn't ugly.
But is it something that you might, at the airport on a puyat night, close your eyes and say, ay, salamat, naalala ko yung magandang kinalakhan ko?
Yun sir eh. It's a complicated thing when you're going to define it like that.
Why?
Kasi syempre, how do I say it? Although I agree with you na heaven is where we are right now. It's what you make with it. I mean, for me kasi it's almost like a state of mind.
It's a state of everything integrated. Mind, body, organ, spirit, impulses, memories. Yeah, of course.
Oo.
Mind pa rin naman yun.
Yeah, yun nga sir. Kasi when I talk to people, more often than not, I mean, with people like you kasi, you are able to process things very, very fast and very effectively.
No, man, I've had a lot of time. Don't say that. I have had a lot of time. I almost died in 1969. You cannot even imagine what year that was. I almost died. I've had a lot of time to think about it.
What made you almost die?
Me and my drunkard dad were driving and got hit by a big car. And I almost bought it. So if you ever went to my show at Gravity last year,
yeah, I was there.
yung trophy, kung saan nag-golf yung tatay ko, yun yung kotse namin na muntik na kami mamatay eh.
Ah, really?
So I was 13 years old. Big kid who could get into a nightclub and actually be given a beer. But he almost died, and I had a lot of time to think about what is dying all about. I didn't think about it as a teenager because there were, you wanted to think about girls and fashion and Levi's. But the older I got, sabi ko, tangina, muntik na ako nun
So it wasn't immediate. It was something you had to reflect on.
By the time I got to college at 18, one of our aesthetics professors posed the question, si Noemi Navarro, sabi niya, can you give me a picture of the life beyond?
This was in college sa UST days.
UST ito eh. So, syempre, may life beyond theology kami, no? Pero aesthetics ito, no? Hindi naman to theology. Ang sagot ko, sabi ko, no, it's not a life beyond. It is knowing every day that you might die. And therefore, ang klaro ng buhay mo because you realize, man, this is precious. This is the gift. This is our faith. Thank God we are born reflective and healthy and able to interact. Not all of us are. I do not want to speak for those people because I know that they deal with life in a different way. But yeah, man, for many of us who we might call ourselves normal, yeah, this is the way we deal with it. We are happy every day we are alive. And then sabi ko nga, okay, then let's go to that. Then I look at Tintoretto, we look at Bruegel. No, siyempre, I'm an art student. We look at Velasquez, we look at, ano ba pangalan nitong si Zurbaran. We look at, you look at all the cupolas. If you've ever been to Europe and you look at all the cupolas, there's always a painting of people going up to the clouds. Sabi ko, yun ba? Ang nanggagaling sa clouds, bomber eh.
Yeah.
Di ba? All of a sudden, actually, I mean, if you're now in Iran, you say, I'm looking up to the clouds and damn, I'm gonna see death coming from the clouds. Not angels, not a bearded, benign man, not Christ with all his compassion. Death. So sabi ko, why do we look for it there when we can see it in every bloody beautiful thing that we are actually given to live with? If we are introduced to a great dessert, first time you had sex, fall in love, moments of heaven, man. Those are moments of heaven.
So it's a moment.
Do you think that it lasts forever? No, they are moments that are interlocked. You make the transition livable. I do believe that that's our problem in life. How to live between these great moments, because they're not all great. And the secret of life, or the secret of being a good citizen of heaven, is it's not all orgasm.
That's the promise kasi, sir, di ba?
Do you believe it? Do you believe in the 70 virgins?
Not one bit, pero that's the promise eh. Yun nga, sir, di ba? Eternal life and eternal happiness.
All right, like I
That's the
said,
promise, di ba?
like I said, yeah, man, try contemplating waiting for 3 years in one place. Or, if you've ever, kung napanood mong Highlander ni Christopher Lambert, no? Yung original na Highlander. Kasi, di ba ako mamamatay? That's only a couple of thousand years. Kuno, no? Might that not be the best pitch for membership? It's the best pitch. Only life. Will you live through only rice? Mamatay ka ng diabetes. Too much of anything, I think, makes it, man, eternal life makes it, I wanna die. Because it's tedious. One of the things in the book by Camus about the stranger was when he unwittingly killed somebody and he was going to die by guillotine. Sabi niya, my best moments are these days when I know that the executioner will come to me and I am clear that these are sacred moments. I'm paraphrasing, of course. That's not the exact quote. But yung parang klaro sa'yo, man. Ang linaw ng ano eh. Ang linaw ng oras sa'yo na hindi aksayado. I operate that way. I don't know if I'll change when I'm 5 minutes from dying. I might, But I operate that way at the moment. That gives me a moment to keep being busy with my art and to try to be good to my friends.
Yun nga, sir, eh, kasi you're going to talk about social realism at some point during this conversation.
Whenever you want to, yeah.
Kasi, yun nga, yung promise of that eternal happiness, eternal joy,
Yeah.
that promise, do you think it's keeping us from moving forward?
Okay. Have you seen, well, later I'll give you a book. Have you seen my work, Paraisado, the other ones? The Kariton.
No. The Kariton, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ayun. And that's why I named it Paraisado. By looking at heaven, you forget the life you really have to live. That's why it's Paraisado in my original catalog meant paralyzed by paradise. May heaven naman eh. I don't need to be a shit here. In fact, I'll have a 3-day confession 3 days before I die. But I'll screw up people. I'll not come on time. I'll not pay my debts. I'll betray a couple of women or betray a couple of lovers. But darating naman yung pare when I can still be conscious and I'll be forgiven and I'll go to heaven for eternal life eh. Yeah. And then suddenly it reflects on everything political. It reflects on everything political. Of course, we are aware that it's the biggest sinners who build the best churches,
Yes.
If you look at church history, it is the people who massacred lots of people in war that earned enough gold to build these fantastic cathedrals. Yun ang yun ang buhay eh. Capital is merely an extension of monarchy. We are living in the age of capital, and that is merely an extension of monarchy. If they say that, I'm sorry, we have to eliminate my 50,000 people living in that place because we're going to build a big Middle Eastern mall with all the modernity, and you squatters who've lived there for a couple of 100 years, sorry, you better get out because you're not adding capital value to it. So we have the right to bomb you out or drone you out of place. Parang ganun. I mean, when you start making all of those parallels, then yeah.
Yung, sir, in terms of your art, I mean, did you try to change things to it?
I thought it might be worth it, but ang sabi ko, the funny thing about change is that we don't do it in our lifetime. That's one of the acceptances I got by the time I was in my late 30s, early 40s.
Late 30s.
Oh, kasi siyempre before that, sabi mo, yeah man, we're gonna make a difference and we're gonna fight everything and we're going to topple the structures and change life.
Wait lang, sir. Late 30s, so when was this?
1956, therefore 1986, but just before EDSA.
Just before EDSA. Kasi, eto sir,
Sorry, it's after EDSA na pala, when I was in Singapore.
I'm surprised kasi it was earlier than I thought. Kasi, eto, I interviewed si Ricky Torre a few months back. And then one thing he remembered before the first quarter storm, this was during one of the rallies leading up to the snap elections.
Okay.
There was a big painting of yours that was used as a plaque.
We're a bit confused, but I talked to him also when we had that forum last April 30. It is not FQS, it is post Ninoy.
Post Ninoy.
That's a long time. That's 12 years. 13 years. No? FQS, 1970. Ninoy yan. Yan yung mga, kumbaga yung Yellow Revolution, the Confetti Revolution. More of that. I liked philosophy and Hermann Hesse. I wasn't really into in the 70s. I was like 15, 16. And I was more into making my own psychedelic art. Into Robert Crumb. Are you familiar with Robert Crumb?
No. No, yeah. I'm going
I
to
was
look him
into
up.
Victor Moscoso. I was into the psychedelic San Francisco poster makers. No? Na, interesado na ako sa activismo by the time I was 20 siguro, 76. That's when I got interested in it kasi sabi ko, damn, you're about to go out into the world and you're about to embark. I always thought of it as practice. You're about to embark on a practice, and what the heck is your practice all about? And because I met the guys who eventually formed Kaisahan, and I saw, okay yung ginagawa nila kasi they're trying to make a commentary, at least nang pupuna sila sa hindi natin gusto sa mundo. And for a time, you entertain the idea that this might make the change. What I entertain now is if you did not belong to the big evolutionary push, which moves like a glacier but does move forward, then you weren't part of it. But I don't think we can guarantee ourselves that we are going to be the ones at the forefront of changing it. And in fact, I have lived through many times when there are people who are revolutionaries who became the exact, what do you call them? They become the exact autocrats that they wanted to replace. But sabi ko, but if you do belong to a critical, parang you have to belong to a critical community over time. Ako, yun na lang ang aking aspiration. If I might authentically and, without naman being cheap, belong to a critical community, then that critical community will carry a kind of philosophical weight that will be taken over by like-minded and, to my mind, the good participants in the future to make things better. You are aware, halimbawa, that you have the idea of Saturday and Sunday off thanks to the union movement. That wasn't the way it used to be. But also, sabi nga nung isang nagpo-post, Middle Ages naman, they only work 3 days a week eh. Ang dami nilang piyesta. So, yeah, pero when capitalism came, oh no, hindi na pwede. 12 hours a day and maybe 6-7 days a week, maximize the profit. Suddenly, people saw, man, I wasn't born a king, but I could be a king. And I have a great idea. Industrialization, no? What do I need? I need a lot of those guys to keep working. And that's, of course, where the conflict comes with enlightened people who gave us day offs, sick leave, holidays, 7-day week, 5-day week, 8-hour days. Diba? Lahat yan, worked for. These are not natural things to humans. We are going into the age when somebody is saying, screw you, humans. We have robots who are going to take over. You are either going to all be beggars or all be courtesans in our big dance. Now you'll have to entertain us capitalists because we're doing the work for you already. We've replaced you. And unless you find a way to bomb our data centers, we're going to rule. But that's your problem, not mine. I'm going to be I am going to be happily out of heaven by then.
Sure, kasi I have this impression that if you identify as a social realist, you've been fighting all your life to attain that kind of change that would benefit society.
I think the better word is you have been pushing all your life. Hindi naman, I mean, nagpa-party rin naman ako, no? And, I enjoy some days of going. I enjoy some days of going to the beer house and getting stone drunk, and I like my occasional toke, etc. But when you can, that's what you are. You are pushing that. I am also not trying to be an influencer telling you how to get better eyebrows. That's not my concern. I'm not a guy telling you how we can get the last 2 abs better defined than all of the 6 already available. That's not my trip. My trip is, can we get living to a kind of equilibrium, an equilibrium where we're all kind of happy and not pestering each other or exploiting each other too much so that we can live, live and let live. Pero not everybody is getting dried out by somebody's big swimming pool. Diba? Parang yun yung whole idea. Dahil wala kaming pang-flush ng toilet. Puti kapitbahay mo, may 3 swimming pool na Olympic size. Pwede ba magkaroon kami ng konting tubig pang-flush ng toilet? I mean, the whole idea of equilibrium, no? If you ever flown into California and you're flying into LAX and you see all the bloody suburbs, each house has a bloody swimming pool. And yet they only have the Colorado River to get it from. So they're eventually going to have to pay for that. And yet everybody wants to have their own private swimming pool. Diba?
The dream.
or the fantasy. I don't think of it as a dream. Especially when you have to clean your own pool.
Yeah.
When you have to remove all of the bugs and all of the leaves and all of the lumot.
Yeah, around, yeah. When
If you've ever been around the swimming pool, you realize, damn, this thing is, that's why I need my hunky pool guy. So madami tayong literature about that.
Ayun, sir. Kasi,
But you push all your life. Ako, that's where I feel I can consistently be. Sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes it's just waking up in the morning and saying yes to the push.
And I agree. Dun sa push, kasi that's what I'm trying to do din naman now. And yun nga. Pero I was surprised lang when you said a while ago about you realizing at 30, 35, or during that time frame na change isn't going to come during your lifetime.
I have seen, I will not name names, but I have seen a couple of, alam mo yung salitang GND, no?
No.
I've never heard the word GND, grim and determined.
No.
These are like the super militant leftists. Become some of the most corrupt bureaucrats in my lifetime. The very same guys who wanted to burn Ferdinand Marcos at the stake are getting a lot of money from his son in their old age. or from the alliances formed around his son in their old age, and they say, screw all of that revolution. It was hard. It didn't make us rich. This is a better reward. I've seen that and I said, ayoko naman nun, pero what's to keep me from just not caring? So, sabi ko, I think the only way to live is you have to carry the burden you can carry every day, every day. Now, if you overwork yourself and you break your body, then maybe you might become a martyr or a hero. But maybe you might not have lived a life that has served a lot of people along. And we do know some people who've served and kept pushing for a long time, and they just do it every day, whenever they can, whenever they're given the chance. But yun ang challenge, yung how to, consistency. Consistency, to me, that's the real challenge. How can you keep being this for as long as you can maintain? Na hindi ka kumakabig. How can you keep betting on your hand? But busted ka ng busted ng busted. Pero tama yung aking posisyon eh. Pero hindi laging tumatama. So, if by that time you can keep that going, then I think maybe you've made a life for yourself. But yes, I've also told myself, I might not be in that generation that changes things, but I might at least have been in the cohort, been in the community of people who might be linked to building that community from which other people might want to build. It's changed so rapidly with social media as well.
That is my next question, sir. Pero before we go to social media, what was it like painting in the 70s and the 80s? What was the art scene like?
Kami kasi we were young and it was exciting. And taro naman yung mga idol namin. Ako, I was very clear. Aside from Botong, Fernando Ocampo, Malansala, even Malang. There's a lot of stories there. But even Malang and Jaime de Guzman, exciting. I want to be like them. Then you get into the nitty-gritty of it. Oh my God, wala palang pera. Wala palang pera. Sila may pera na sila by the time we were young. Nagkaroon na sila ng pera, but they also went through their 1950s, 1960s. I was studying in the 70s. So sila, dumaan rin sila sa wala. By the time na nandun na sila, idol na namin sila, medyo mucho na. Malansala already drove. He had a driver in a Mercedes. But he also went through a lot of bloody tough times when nobody even gave a shit. I think I remember I heard from an article that Arturo Luz was saying, man, we were lucky to sell for 50 pesos. You know, these things that are now bandied about in the auction houses at a couple of million, they used to get negotiated for 50 pesos, which wasn't a small sum then, but you know, maybe siguro nga doon sa mga PAG, baka 15 pesos pa yung mas normal na rate eh. Don't laugh. You're about to laugh. you're about to laugh. 15 pesos, hindi ako makabili ng taho. Hindi tayo makabili ng taho with 15 pesos. 22 na ang taho ngayon eh. That's like an original new realist, neo-realist artwork, no? From the PAG.
Yun, sir, kasi during those times, kasi I sincerely think din and I believe about art being a reflection of the times. And when I was interviewing Ricky Torre, kasi I keep bringing up Ricky Torre kasi this is almost the same timeline you're operating on.
Rick is slightly younger though. Slightly younger. Is he 70 already? Di ba?
No.
Di ba? Si Ricky mas kabats nila Lord.
Yeah.
Slightly younger. I might be the oldest person. I'm older than Aida, so I'm the oldest person you've talked to, I think.
Ayun, sir. So, going back lang about art being the reflection of the times. During that time, it was the second golden age of Philippine cinema. During martial law.
Sabi nino?
Ni Ricky Torre.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what was it?
He's referring to ECP. Is he referring
I'm
to
not
ECP?
sure. I'm not sure. Madalino bro ka.
Kaya nga, ECP.
Yeah,
Actually, si Lino is such an outlier. Sila ni Mike, if he is referring to Maynila sa Kukunan Liwanag, outlier yan. Lino and Mike yan. Didn't have anything to do with the industry. Remember, Lino also has to do Haiti. Has to do rom-coms. But when he could, he would do Maynila. He would do Tinimbang Ka Ngunit Kulang. Have to imagine those things really aren't the money makers.
Yeah.
And Mike De Leon would have to do Kung Mangarap Ka't Magising, Romance in Baguio, Hilda and Christopher De Leon, di ba? They'd have to do that. Wasn't art better during martial law?
Ayun, sir. That's what I'm trying to ask you.
Sabi ko, no, there were great artists in martial law, but art generally was shallow, FPJ-ish, Erapish. What do I mean by Erapish?
Yeah,
Parang meron kang Robin Hood guy who saves the poor from themselves, but never addresses really the guy who made the poor the poor.
Sir, that is a wonderful insight. Kasi it's happening now eh.
Haven't you ever watched Erap and FPJ? You should watch
I
it.
have.
Yeah.
No, my point lang is I'm trying to relate it to what we're experiencing now.
Or let me give you a comparison. Take, halimbawa, an Erap movie where he becomes a kind of savior of the poor and put that side by side with one of Lino Broca's better comparisons, Jaguar. But we know how that turned out. Philip used to be the icon of the oppressed. He's made his choices along the way. That this is what I'm telling you. You belong to that community and then you don't. I do not know how Lino Broca would feel now. Have you ever watched Ora Pro Nobis?
Not yet.
Or Kapit sa Patalim?
No.
Watch them.
No, sir. I will.
I'm not into golden eras because there are
Yes.
so many anomalous great
So,
moments.
paint us a picture, sir, of what it was like during those times.
The art scene was
Art scene.
fraught. We were all people in jeans and t-shirts trying to be the next guy who might be smiled upon by the Saturday group or put into galleries. We were all just struggling like every young person would. In fact, one of my favorite quotations is, did I join Kaisahan right away? So, no, sabi ko, because when I chanced upon Kaisahan, it had more than 100 members in 1976. And me, either I'm critical or mayabang or an asshole. And sabi ko, I don't want to be in a group where there are 100 people na walang mapuntahan. 2 years later, there were only 16 guys. They stuck to Kaisahan. And I said, yan ang gusto kong tropa. They've been here. They've been through the hard times. They've been through the threats. They've been through the criticism. They've been through the rejection by the art scene, calling them propagandists rather than artists. But they stuck to it. Sabi ko, that's the barkada I'd like to grow into. And I did. And I've lost a lot of them in the last few years. But yeah, we've been together 40 plus years and it's the barkada we kept. It kept us going. You know, we kind of encourage each other and criticize each other, but we kind of kept each other going kasi alam namin medyo pareho naman yung coaching ginagamit namin paakyat sa bundok. Yan, ika nga. Pare, ano ba ginagamit mo? Toyota. Toyota rin ako eh. Pare-pareho kami Toyota umaakyat sa Baguio eh. So we kind of, we're using the same equipment for the struggle. If I might put it that way.
So, yung understanding ko, sir, is you were all trying to survive then.
Well, we were bloody trying to survive, for sure. We were also trying to thrive. So we joined contests. You know what we didn't have? A self-proclaiming mechanism every morning.
What does that mean?
I'm honored to let you know, by the way, in all humility, that I just got this award from this body who you may not recognize, but they still recognize how good I am. Thank you for reading my post. Every morning. You all have that. We didn't. We had to wait for somebody from a recognized outlet of communication to say, okay yung batang yun ah. Parang may pinapakita. We had to be approved from the outside. We could not carry our own bangko. It's happening now, and I don't really like it. What to do? No? That's how evolution takes place. We couldn't make instant videos of ourselves to make our inane movements look dramatic and mysterious. Nakita ka nun, yung mga 30-minute video, ex-artist gonna have a show. Puta, naghalo lang ng pintura, parang enigmatic eh. Ay, puta. Again, sorry. There are some things that hindi ka makapigil because sabi ko, really? May kahulugan ba yan? Ano lang yan eh. Naglilinis lang ng paleta yan, may kahulugan yan. And then you thank Ralph Towner that he gives you a great music na ninakaw mo for free. You didn't have to pay anybody to make music and suddenly you sound enigmatic. Naglilinis lang ako ng paleta eh. Naglalagay pa lang ako ng pondo. You've seen
Yeah.
You've seen artists promoting themselves. Naglalagay pa lang ako ng, wow, puta, hindi get. Sorry, I mean, there's also a lack of proportion here. I think we have to recognize there's a lack of proportion here. If you showed me the final stages of a total Ronald Ventura collaboration, sabi ko, yes. Because nandun the work's there. The majesty is there. The effort is there. The mastery is there. Nagpopondo ka pa lang, meron ka lang magandang soundtrack na Paul Desmond eh. Okay na. That's the difference. We didn't have that. We couldn't do it for ourselves.
Did you wish na you had those? Things would have been better ba if you had those?
Alam mo, in retrospect, maybe not. Ang feeling ko, suddenly now, okay, here's the one thing. Me, and you will say, kilala mo si Bongi, sungit yan. For people who don't know me, kalapitan mo si Tense, sungit yan. Actually, what I have is a kind of self-confidence. You know why? Because I've never asked for any of these things that have been given to me. They were just given to me. And sabi ko, I love it that way. I love it that way. I get invited to the Havana Biennale. Didn't write anybody. Invitayin mo naman ako. Well, they came to me. Why? Because maybe I did work that they heard about from somebody else, which I didn't pitch. And I think that if may taglay akong angas, or at least I carry about an air of self-confidence, it's because I keep reminding myself, you did not bribe anyone for whatever respect you now own. And that's important to me. Because we can now bribe ourselves. There are so many ways to pitch ourselves. Advertising is given over to the ordinary person. And so standards are low. Ako, at least I can say, dubious siguro yung community ko, but at least I got a consensus from that dubious community. It's not me pitching it. It's a consensus that landed on me. Fair enough for me. Ako sabi ko, yeah. What should I do? I should do as good as I can without asking anyone. And how do I know if I'm doing as good as I can? Oh, kaya naman tayo nag-aaral eh. Kaya naman tayo pinaaral eh. I mean, ako, I'll definitely say yes. Thank you to my parents for putting me in an enlightened school, I would say at that moment. Thank you for me meeting some good people when I was in my college and meeting kaisan. Because sabi ko, yes, that was an education which I carry to this day and age. If ever I come to you na maangas, that's...
No.
No. But that's the one thing that sustains me. In my conscience, sabi ko, ito ba'y pinagmakaawa ko o pinakiusap ko? No. I am the kind of guy na, bilhin mo. Saka na. Okay lang to. And then I'll never come back to you. Because sabi ko, it's not worth pitching 3 times when one pitch should be enough if it was worth it. I do believe in the accrued worth of things over time, over performance, di ba? What you do eventually, what do we say? Puta pare, mga sketch ni Pancho yan nung siya 6 years old. And of course, there are 2 answers. Who the fuck cares? Or Wow, putang ina, sketch ni Pancho yan. There are two responses eh. That means you must have lived a significant life or you're just another wannabe self-promoter. Who the fuck cares about your 6-year-old sketch? But that makes the difference. It's the life lived in between. And to me, that's the joy. That's where you become happy. Kasi sinabi mo naman sa sarili mo, no, hindi. I've been dumped by a lot of galleries and I never come back to them until they ask again. I'm showing at a gallery that waited 24 years to ask me again, and I'm giving them my best, but I never forced myself in between the 24-year hiatus na hindi ako kinakausap. Sabi ko, what the heck? Kung ayaw mo, di ayaw mo. There's no joy eh. To me, yun lang ang malalim kong ligaya. Yung nakuha mo dahil binigay sa'yo willingly dahil worth it ka. Yung sa akin, that's a simple thing, but it's a hard thing.
That's what I want to ask you next.
Yeah.
How fucking hard was it?
Hard all the time.
I want you to paint me a picture, sir, of how hard that is. Kasi, ito,
You need a 10-hour podcast to get a complete picture of that time.
I'll try my luck.
We'll sketch a couple of vignettes.
Yeah, ito na lang.
Pictures
Siguro
hard.
we can start with your solo show. The one that made you go to Singapore.
I didn't go to Singapore because of a solo show, see? Who misinformed you about that?
Hindi, kasi sir, di ba, your wife told you na, maybe it's time to get
No. Okay, no. That's a long story with a lot of gaps that make you misunderstand. I got invited by Chabet to show at Pinaglabanan in late 83. She somehow approached me, and Chabet is as snub as you can get. But he approached me, and I was really pleased. Because I'm not even a Chabet guy. Eh. In fact, later in his life, Chabet hated me. But ganun naman si Chabet eh. Yung ano naman yan, fluctuate naman yung love-hate naman ng kanyang relasyon sa'yo. But in those years, he invited me. Sabi niya, we got this new nice gallery in Pinaglabanan. Show ka. He liked my cartoons. I was just doing cartoons. Ganyan, but much earlier than this. This is 1987. And sabi niya, parang, I think maybe you'll come up with a nice show. He didn't know what I was going to come up with. Neither did I. But I had won a couple of AAPs there, which was then the equivalent of Philip Morris. And maybe I might brag that I wasn't a Yenan Forum social realist. Alam mo yung Yenan Forum? Yenan Forum yung nakaganon lahat yung mga taas kamao, no? The Chinese, Mao Zedong aesthetic of social change through art. I didn't like that either. I found it nagamit na eh. Huwag natin ulit-ulitin. You're obviously aware that there are a lot of people who still practice that, the Yenan Forum style. I like things like this. You know, I like to comment about capitalism by mocking heaven. I didn't like to comment about mocking capitalism by showing a farmer, a fisherman, a nurse, na lahat nakaganon. Yeah, but siguro burgis rin kasi ako nag-aral ako ng art bata pa. So, I really didn't find them stimulating. So, maybe that's why Chabet liked me, that I had some kind of social engagement, but I wasn't the kind of guy who was doing it in a rather more predictable way. Chabet has a falling out with Agnes Arellano before my opening, so it remains too Modesto to hang my show. I get my show, I make 27 big works, 30 days show, no sale. So I cry for 3 days. October 85 to November 85, no sale. Cry for 3 days. And my wife naman, that's why she's still my wife, quietly says, hanap ka trabaho. Doesn't get angry at me. Ikaw kasi, aktivista ka kasi. No, sabi lang niya, hanap ka trabaho. Siyempre, malungkot na walang benta. Malungkot naman na walang benta, man. You have to understand that. And I gave my all. And some of those works are really, I mean, I won't trade them for anything, but I've sold a lot of them, interestingly. And so I worked in the newspaper. And I was in Manila Times. And I also worked for Pete Lacaba at Midweek because I met him earlier during the post-Nino years. And so those were sources of a daily wage. We didn't have kids. We lived in an apartment that cost us about 400 pesos a month. So we could. I dare say we had about 300 pesos in our bank account. Maybe equivalent to 10,000 today, but still. Yeah. Do you have only 10,000 in your bank account? You'd feel pathetic, right? You'd feel a bit pathetic. Parang, oh man, malapit na akong kuha na ng balance day. Parang gano'n kami, we were living, ang bangko hindi pa nang hihingi ng balance pag mababa balance mo. Ngayon, they learned eh. Kunti pera mo sa amin, kukunin namin unti-unti. Noon, hindi pa eh. We were allowed to keep a tiny amount in the bank for whatever that was worth. But we were alive. We ate our meals, and we used old clothes, and I drove an old car, and we were alive, and we were happy. And I was doing my illustration every day of the week, and there was a job to be had, and I was happy with my wife. We would have relationship like all couples, but we were generally happy, and we got along. But life was tough. You always had to commute, and didn't have money to buy a suit. Hindi naman yun ang aking intention sa buhay. Intention ko makapag-express eh. So I was doing okay, I think. And then of course Singapore as an opportunity dropped in my lap, and I said, yeah, okay, let's do this. And I spent 7 years, and I elevated my economic status to the point that I have a house, and later on that house was able to get me a studio. And so I'm way more productive than I ever was. Nobody's ever going to throw my works out. But it was insecure at that time. But that did not mean, and this I can also be a little proud of saying, this did not mean that you had to be uncreative. You could be creative kahit wala kang masyadong kita or anything. You could be creative. I do strongly believe that. It is never a hindrance to do great work. But your mediums might be cheaper. Pen and ink wasn't that expensive, but sabi ko, I can do pen and ink. And then somebody would come up to me. Somebody asked me that question before. Sabi niya, pare, ba't mo pinaghihirapan? Bukas pambalot ng isda yan. Diaryo eh. Sabi ko, posibleng ang pambalot ng isda, pero 20,000 pambalot ng isda yan. And among the 20,000 people who might use it pambalot ng isda tomorrow, maybe 200 of them will say, pare, okay ito ah. So those 200 guys are worth my time. If there are 18,800 who will, or 19,800 who will throw my drawing away, but maybe 200 people, maybe from the community. And that's exactly what happened. There were 3 guys in Singapore who said, okay, trabaho ng mamang yan ah. Kontakin nyo nga. And my economy elevated, relatively. Yeah, elevated. I'll start with the beginning. I won't end where it ended. I left the Philippines at 6,000 pesos a month times 13. Diba? May 13-month pay. And I immediately shifted with housing subsidy to something like the equivalent of 45,000 pesos
During the time.
times 15
During that time.
in 1 year.
Wow.
Oh, so elevate.
Yeah. It's a big jump.
Suddenly may pera ka sa bangko. Suddenly sabi ng asawa ko, pwede na tayo mag-anak. And all those things. Everything that you thought you could not afford or would not afford, it comes at a cost. Singapore is highly censored. So you have to play that game. You have to play the censorship game continuously. One of the hallmarks of all my Singapore works, of which I have thousands, is that none of them have a date. It was like a twilight zone in my life. I didn't put a date. I might remember when I did it, but I didn't put a date. You might be able to identify the issue. Didn't put a date. Sabi ko, interim ito. Parang ito limbo. Hindi ito kasama ng tunay na buhay ko. Pero gagamitin ko ito para makapag-produce ako ng buhay na mas tunay sa akin, na kontrolado. So yeah, I mean, so I didn't go to Singapore because of a show, But yes, the failure in that show led me to find a job where I produced work which was suited to their needs. If I did not spend the extra time doing the work to my satisfaction, as my wife would always say, my answer is, nanay, konti na lang kasi hindi ko rin mabitiwan nang hindi ko kutkutin to my satisfaction. Meaning my wife was telling me, you were there from 11, it's already 9 o'clock, kota ka na. Sabi ko, hindi, konti pa mga 11. Tapos na akong kumutoy. I think naman I think I can speak for my work.
Yeah.
If you've ever looked at any of my books which sell at Kaida, and minsan if you visit me in the house and I'll show you the thousands of drawings I did, I did them because I was happy. And sabi ko, that's the only way I let go of them. And yes, yung pambalot ng isda theory, sabi ko, oo, pero 20,000 or 45,000 na pambalot ng isda yan, somebody will notice. And I don't want that critical somebody to say, putang, batoy naman to. Dyaryo na nga, mass market na nga, tamad pa. Imagine the privilege you have to be able to reach out to people. You know, when I was in Who Magazine, 82 to 84, we were closed down in 84, no, right after just before the first Ninoy anniversary. Some people approached me 3 years later or around the EDSA years and said, Bogs, kikita namin yung Who Magazine sa Agusan or sa Davao. Sabi ko, paano abot ang Who Magazine doon? 5,000 copies lang naman ang nilalabas namin. Token lang yan eh. Para lang sabihin may press freedom. Sabi nila, hiram-hiram bay. Hiram-hiram lang. They didn't even buy. They would pass it along. O pre, basahin mo ito. So sabi niya, na-appreciate namin yung trabaho mo kasi nga, ano lang ito, token press freedom lang ito, na hindi naman sobrang laki ang kinikita mo, walang aircon yung opisina, init ng opisina namin. You have to imagine, you're working at this time at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you have to do detailed drawings, pen and ink on vellum or whatever. But sabi ko, there's something in me na, no, I have to let it go to my satisfaction. How much did I get paid? Not bad. Actually, I was getting paid 150 or 250 depending on the size. A thing like this, maybe 250 pesos per. And I would make about 4 of them in a week. So that's not bad. That was not bad in the early 80s. Nabubuhay naman kami. Wala naman kaming anak ng asawa ko rin. We only had children nga in Singapore. When the surplus came and we said, yeah, we can finally afford to have them, educate them, give them a more satisfying. Actually, when you have children, it's you who has to be satisfied. Sa natin paaralin. Di ba?
Yeah.
It's you who has to be satisfied.
Yeah.
The kids, as long as you love them, don't care. Kahit paaral mo pa nga sa public school. And we know a lot of public school products who are good. You don't have to go to Ateneo or Teresiana or Assumption. They don't have to. It's us. It's us who put those standards because if we can, we give them what we think is the best. So yeah, I mean, but that's a longer process. Somehow, the specific thing is, when I was working in the Chronicle and we were living on like a 4,500 salary per month, and then I was adding to that my 900 pesos a month from UST, plus a couple of 100 over from a couple of sidelines, which I was also spending on activism. I was also paying for our headquarters at 500 a month out of my own pocket. Wala namang pondo ang mga aktivista noon. Sabi ni Nonoy Marcelo sa akin, who was my boss, if you've heard of Nonoy Marcelo, si Ikabod. And sabi ni Nonoy, mga kaibigan ko nagtatayo ng agency sa Singapore, baka pa-illustratin nila tayo at the equivalent of $50 per illustration. Now, alam namin nung panahon na yon na $50 at 10 sing to 1 was 500 pesos per illustration. Pwede, men, pandagdag sa kita yan, why not? So I sent a portfolio. The agency did not really materialize. My portfolio got passed over to somebody in the Straits Times and they said, yes, we like that guy. Get in touch with him. It's a more complicated story than that, but that's how I got there. The people from the Straits Times got in touch with me. You know, I turned down their offer the first time because my wife got a free trip to Rome, and I said, makakatawa ito, tinawagan ko ng Singaporean. Would you like to be in Manila in April for an interview? Because we'd love to interview you. Sabi ko, sorry, I'm going to Rome. Sabi ng Singapore, yung Pilipino to, yaba. But actually, it's the first time my wife is able to wangle a free ticket and free housing in Rome. Excited rin ako. And then I tell them, sabi ko, I don't mean to be standoffish, but sabi ko, this is a very hard opportunity for me and it's my only chance and I'm already booked. And your interview in Manila is corresponds with my trip to Rome and I need to join my wife because she worked hard on this. But sabi ko, if sometime in the future there might be another opening, please remember me. And then I went to Rome and I was very sad because I told my wife, andito tayo sa Rome, nawala na akong trabaho. Yung mixed emotion na, putang saya-saya sa Rome. I loved Rome. It's my other idea of heaven. My first day walking around Santa Maria Maggiore with all the pigeons walking around me in 18 degrees. Ay, tangina, heaven, man. A Filipino travel. I'm 32 years old. First time get out of the country. Land in Rome. Walking around Santa Maria Maggiore. Walking. I'm just about a kilometer away from Vatican City. Ganda. But of course, there are moments in the night, sabi ko, alam mo, nanay, give up ko yung trabaho. Sayang, ito na sana yung future natin eh. Pero sabi ko, we make these choices eh. I want to be with you here eh.
Make it work. Yes, sir.
In July, they had the vacancy. They called me up. Boom. I'm going there. Done. I'm gonna split the pamasahe with you. I'm going to interview in Singapore. I told my boss, sabihin mo, day off ako, pero I'm going to fly to Singapore for an interview.
That's the story about how you got there.
Sabi ni Nori, bahala. Ako na bahala sa'yo, pare. Good luck. Oh, then I got there. I aced my interview. I brought 80 drawings to convince them more because they saw a portfolio of 15. I brought 80 drawings in, alam mo yung mga classic pa na mga advertising artist bag, yung mga portfolio bag. That's sufficient, Mr. Ruiz. When can you start? Okay na kami. I stayed there for 7 years to change my economy.
When I floated the idea of this art podcast, a lot of friends were asking how they could support. The easiest way is to hit the subscribe button. It's free. It's just one click, but it will do wonders for Studio Maya. So please subscribe, and we will work very, very hard in improving our set. Thank you. And Sir Boogie, from our conversation so far, it seemed like the scene has not really changed from when you were younger to what it is now. It's the same, syempre, technological advances and stuff, pero it's the same struggle for every artist. That's what I'm getting from our conversation now.
I'll give you an even more specific qualifier. If you start to make work that doesn't bother rich people, you are more saleable. Look at it from that filter. If you start to do work that doesn't bother powerful people, that is more ornamental, that is somehow shallowly environmental, but not, doesn't really go at the sources of where environmental conflict comes from, etc., diba? If you do work that doesn't bother the powers, you most likely, this is an old formula, and you most likely will get more patronage. If you do work that you think contributes to a critical, well, good luck. Thankfully now, there are way more people who might actually support. There were a lot less then because those people had no way to make money. May paraan na rin yung mga critical thinkers kumita ng pera eh. Siguro the economies have expanded. But pay attention, halimbawa, I know Karen will take issue with me, but pay attention to the early Hernando Ocampo, which showed his compassion for the struggling people of the urban Manila. And the way later Hernando Ocampo, which was a play really on greens and oranges, and did not anymore have to deal specifically with human suffering or any of that, but they became formal issues. And let me know which Hernando Ocampo was the most saleable
Yeah.
during his life. So, parang ganyan yan. Artists evolved to a point that they either make the decision, I don't want to keep doing this critical body of work because there's a payday that's waiting for me, or that may I keep doing this as long as there's some little return that just allows me to sustain. These are the choices we will eventually have to make. That does not change. Ako tingin ko that does not change. If anybody who's a serious student of history of art knows that it is power that patronizes art. And then of course, then you must not displease power. There will be an entire, di ba? There will be an entire body of work where lahat ng magagandang pamilya ng hari ang nagbabayad ng malaki. Anong bumenta kay Velasquez? Yung Las Meninas o yung painting niya ng ang tawag dito, ng blacksmith,
Yeah.
ng Panday? No, syempre yung Las Meninas.
Mhm.
The vanity of the wealthy and the powerful is really your key to making money. That's, I think, a more underlying continuous strain in all art making. Doesn't much change. Or let me ask in another way. In spite of everything that seems to be expressive about him, does Jean-Michel Basquiat actually point out the real culprits in society?
No.
But it seems that he is naming names and dropping names. But is he showing actual oppressive structures? No. He's showing a guy befuddled in all expressive coloration and great color combos. But the guy has not actually made up his mind who's the villain. Or, of course, the second most famous artist on the internet, the guy who paints 3 rectangles in a row,
Who's that?
Mark Rothko, of course.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, di ba? Mark Rothko.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's like one of the, you put on anybody's blog and there's a Rothko there. This is just great. Because it's pure emotion, but there is no actual villain. Now, ang tanong natin as individuals living in a life, alam ba natin kung bakit malungkot ang buhay natin? Alam natin minsan. Most of us actually understand kung saan gagaling yung oppressive structures. Is the decision to paint our art or to make our art as an exposition of this going to make us money? Most likely not. It, like I said, I think the other change is that you can promote yourself. You can definitely promote yourself from the most inane enigma.
Oh, there's an app na sure na you can put your painting on top of a sofa.
No. When that first came out like 8 years ago.
8 years ago, really?
Yan, lumabas yan bago
Really?
mag-COVID. I've seen some friends use it. Sabi ko, this is almost bittersweet ironic because in the 1970s, kaming mga who thought ourselves to be serious said, dahil na pare, bakit? Ano ba ginagawa mo pang bagay sa sopa? We would always, jab each at tangi na pare, gumagawa ka naman ng pang-interior yung bagay sa rug at saka sa sopa. O di kikita ka nga pero hindi ka artist, hindi ka serious. And yet, there's a lot of money to be made to match the sofa. Undoubtedly. To match the wood interior, to match the molding. Anything. So when that app came out, sabi ko, oh my God, nag full circle na yung aming alaskahan, and no, it's irrelevant. Now, when you see a serious gallery using it, okay. Wala na. Tapos na ako. All of
Hmm.
these things that we used to make fun of are taken seriously by, by the need to make.
Pero yun, sir, you've been through the times na, I mean, from essentially,
My times, yeah.
yeah, yung full lifetime, and you were an artist all throughout, you've never really,
I was babysat with art books. So by the time I was 16, sabi ko, gusto ko fine arts. What do they tell you? Kumuha ka naman ng hanap buhay na may konting kita, advertising. Spent 2 years in advertising without trying to be mayabang. I was a dean's lister in advertising. The dean's lister does not get less than 1.25 for every grade on a scale of 1 to 5. What does that do for you? It allows you to get back your tuition. You pay the tuition, they return it to you when you get a dean's list. And yet I didn't like what I was doing. I would wait 3 days before deadline. 2 weeks na yung assignment, 3 days before deadline, saka ako titirahin. Hindi ako masaya eh. Kaya ko. And I was doing good. I took my tuition once from my refund. Didn't tell my mother and I transferred to painting. Oh my God, biglang naging maligaya ako. I spent 4 more years to complete my painting, but I was so happy. I'd be there at 7:30 in the morning, 9:30 ng gabi. Sir, uwi na po lahat ng estudyante. Sandali na lang, pinaalis na ako ng gwardiya. I didn't care. And I was working and I was producing. So then it just hits you. Shit. It just hits you. Ito gusto ko. So yeah. From the time I was 20 up to now, 50 years na, I was doing what I wanted. Definitely doing what I wanted. What's the nice part about that? When you're suffering through it, you have to look in the mirror and say, gusto mo yan eh.
yeah,
Gusto mo yan eh.
Yeah.
So after a while, kahit nung araw nga na maiyak-iyak akong 3 araw ng dire-diretso dahil hindi ako nakabenta sa una kong 1 month. So then you do tell yourself, gusto mo yan eh. Tama sa mo, maghanap kang trabaho. Kita ka ng portfolio.
Did you ever doubt ba na this is the path na,
No.
you were really locked in?
That's the one thing about me. That's where my angas comes from. I never doubted. In fact, I keep telling this to people. I had this little memorable moment when I was in second year college and I had just turned 18. I was climbing up the second to third floor of the Fine Arts Engineering building in UST. And I looked at the library, sabi ko, daming art book dyan. Then I told myself when I got to the landing between the second and the third floor, kasi third floor, Fine Arts per second engineering. Ito gusto kong sa buhay ko as 18. I somehow, on one nice moment na maganda gising, told myself, ito gusto kong gawin. Did I know how I was going to do it? No, but I did. Yeah. Do you have that moment when you have thoughts to yourself? You're talking to yourself. I'm constantly talking to myself. And I was talking to myself. Sabi ko, gusto ko ito. And yeah, less than a year later, lumipat pa nga ako sa painting to just reinforce na yun ang gusto kong partin ng fine arts na gusto ko.
Napansin ko lang, sir, you rarely talk about Ateneo. I mean, if we talk about painting, it's mostly, and yung philosophies mo in life, it's mostly, you mostly start with your UST education.
No, but ano naman tayo? I mean, I was in Ateneo from elementary to high school.
High school.
No, I beg your pardon, you just haven't brought it up. There's a lot to talk about in Ateneo. I do believe that Ateneo encouraged it very much because we had constant art classes from elementary. We had art classes from prep to grade 7. Grade 7 pa kami. I was considered too intelligent to be in the art stream. I was asked to enroll in Latin.
Latin. Wow.
Umabot ka ba ng honor section?
Ateneo Dinaga ako, sir.
Wala bang honor section sa Ateneo Dinaga?
Meron, pero wala kaming Latin.
Kami noon, 70s naman to eh. Phased out na nung panahon nyo. Nung panahon namin, siyempre, honor section, hindi ka pwede yung art pang low IQ yung art. I mean, somebody in the curriculum department said that the people who are not as highly gifted should be not studying art. Should be studying Latin. And yes, my most intelligent classmates were experts at Latin. I was a horrible failure. I almost repeated a year because of Latin because I had no interest whatsoever. Sabi ko, hindi ba ako pwede lumipat sa art? Hindi. Honor section ka eh. Dapat Latin ka. I was not I was not happy. I was not happy, especially since me and our Latin professor would see each other at the porno movies in Quiapo. Sabi po tayo. Sorry, boss. Madaming mga mumurahing porno movies sa Quiapo na pagkatapos ng exam. O parang ito tayong sine. Puta, bakit teacher natin sa Latin nanonood ng porno movie? So sabi ko, lalo ako nawala ng gana. Muntik na ako ibagsak niyan. Pare-pareho lang pala gusto namin sa buhay. And yet we're talking about the imperators, about Julius Caesar, about Hannibal. You know, we were not only talking about Latin grammar, we're talking about Roman and imperial history in Latin. It was really weird yung lumalaki ka sa Cubao. At saka hindi ko type. At saka hindi ko hilig. If they had transferred me to the art stream, I would have been so happy. When I got over that in my third year, used to hang around in the art room like a muyong. Thank God there was Brenda Fajardo. And she noticed I loved it. Sabi niya, oh, ikandado mo mamayang gabi ha, uwi na ako. So she allowed me to hang around in the art room and just do things. Kanya, marunong ka ba mag-etching, tuturuan kita. Tapos magligpit ka pagkatapos ha. Ganun na si Brenda. She really encouraged me. And then by doing those prints, I would hang around while I'm waiting for my acid to burn. If you do prints, no, I'm waiting for my etching to burn. I'm restless. I'm all alone at night. It's 7:30. I walk to the adjoining building. Nagtateatro yung ibang mga katropa ko. Dula ang sipol. So, nood rin ako through the cracks. You know. Later on, napapansin ako ni Mr. Pagsanghan. Sabi niya, oh, bakit ka nandyan? Gumagawa po ako ng mga posters sa kabila. Gawa mga kaming poster. Parang ganun naman siya. Parang he was also trying to be nice and encouraging. Tambay ka ng tambay dito sa amin eh. Sir, naghihintay ako ng kinakain pa ng acid yung plate eh. Wala naman akong ginagawa mag-isa. Mag-isa lang ako dun dito. Masaya kayong panoorin. May teatro eh. Later on, sabi niya, gusto mo sumali? Apo,
Sibulista ka, sir?
Oo, sibulista ako. Sa kalahating taon. O 2 taon, in fact. 3rd and 4th year. Yeah, sibulista ako. Saya ako noon. Ang ligaya ko noon. That brought out another part of me that, sabi ko, pwede naman pala akong makihalubilo sa tao even if I felt shy as an individual. Theater brings it out eh. Yan, of course, pagsangan is pagsangan. That's a mute. It's a bulalakaw, ano? This come once in a while. I am a believer in bulalakaw. Yung people that come into your life na walang kapalit yan eh. Swerte namin, bulalakaw si Pagsi. Taught us a lot of things. I said in my painting in 2020, there was anybody who introduced me to the idea of idealism, it was Onofre Pagsanghan. And sabi ko, I held on to that operative word because that was a good word.
How did he influence you?
With all of his teachings sa Dulang Sibol, si Pagsanghan would come from the framework of explaining Paglilitis ni Mang Serapio, if you've ever heard of that play. And he would teach you how people are persecuted for their holding on to idealism, which was a weird concept for a 17 or 16, 15, 16, 17. Hindi pa namin iniisip yun. But of course, we were already having steerings na we're trying to fit in the world and the world doesn't exactly accept awkward teenagers. So, but si Pagsanghan was transitioning us. Nasabi niya, ganyan lang yan kasi maganda pa tingin nyo sa mundo eh. Pagsi also laid down to me one thing that I almost got really resentful of him for. Sabi niya, you guys, you're gonna leave me now, you're gonna graduate, and in 10 years, you don't even know your Sibol mates anymore. Sabi namin, ito naman si Pagsi, ang lupit naman. But he was right. When you diverge, because I went to fine arts and many of my Sibol mates went into business or banking. And yeah, iba na mundo namin. So when we see each other, it's kind of different. So Paxi was right. It sounded brutal, sounded like he was trying to dampen our enthusiasm for life, but he was right. I mean, you have to stick to your path, and sometimes your friends aren't on the same path. I have a hard time attending Ateneo reunions because I don't play golf. I mean, I cannot talk to my friends about okay.
So,
Or I cannot talk to them about the latest Bayan Muna rally. Iba-ibang mundo ng... And yet, these were my friends. These were the guys I love. But your lives, they digress eh. But they digress. But Brenda, Rodolfo Dula, literature teacher namin who also introduced us to the idea of psychedelics, and Timothy Leary, and good literature, Pagsanghan, and a lot of other teachers naman, no? They all contributed. And yung Ateneo system, humanities-based eh. Kanya, at that time, din, yung pinag-aawayan natin, inaalis na completely lahat ng humanities-based sa curriculum. In our days, it was very heavy on humanities. I just resented that my humanities was Latin. Can I just have visual art, please? No, hindi. Had to be Latin. I labored for 2 years in Latin. Oh my God.
yeah, it sounds like it.
Labored for 2 years in Latin. Yeah. It helps my etymology nowadays, no? Di ba? Siyempre, etymology mo Latin. Ang dami nang galing sa Latin na salita. No, I still don't enjoy it.
Yung sa Sir, last question about Sir Pagsy, you think it's where it started, yung being socially aware?
One thing about Pagsy, he was one of the guys who was also very clear about his position. I do not know if I would say no, but definitely definitive si Pagsy na hindi, yung you go back to him and you say, alam ba niya pinagsasabi niya? Yeah. Alam niya pinagsasabi niya. Now, anong idealism ni Pagsy? Teaching. Open minds. Di ba? The mind is like a parachute. Doesn't work if it isn't open. Pagsy talaga, open minds. Introduce concepts. And I always believe if you can give them a whiff of what idealism is about, then they might go about in the world and make the world slightly more idealistic. I would even go about saying that even the greatest idealists venture on the side of pragmatism. But do we go about on the side of parang selectionism or racism or exclusionism? Maybe hindi na. But pragmatism, yes. So may gamot rin ng idealism eh. And some of us don't want to cross over to the, can we just bomb that place para malibre na yung real estate? Maybe we will never go there, no? So some of us might not go there. But some of us might say, oh, sige, punta ako doon sa vlog na yun kasi magkikita ako ng konti and then, I can use it for my issues. So we have all of our gamuts of idealistic practice. And maybe you will know the ones who are idealistic from youth to age. Because I've also seen people seemingly become the most intensely idealistic and then make that real arc into being the most intensely cynical. You are not yet that old eh. But by the time you get to your late 50s, 60s, makikita mo yung, oh my God, ganito yan dati.
Yeah. Yun nga, sir. Tapos it keeps playing in my mind when you said when you were talking about your idea of heaven. You're even aware that it may change 5 minutes before your death.
I will not say that I'm perfect, that I might feel a pang of paranoia. Tangin na, mali ka ata, Bogs eh. Pwede
Yeah.
tawagin yung pare. Bless nyo naman ako, basbasan nyo ako holy water, no?
Yeah, no, what I'm saying lang is these things change rapidly. They change, they do change. Ano?
Our mind is made of synapses, man. I mean,
Yeah.
just go figure the nature of a synapse. But the measure of a man's or a woman's or a person's life is how those synapses have been held, to my mind, by some kind of consistent structure. Yun siguro. Ako, to me, that's when you begin to recognize people for having lived long because they've lived with some kind of workable, consistent structure. That all those synapses don't really change the trajectory anymore. But who knows? Great pain, great success. If for some reason I buy a 40 million winning lottery ticket, you might not see me anymore. Sarap ito si Tense Ruiz. Oo nga, pare.
Nanalo lang.
Sabi ko, what do I do if I do that? I disappear. None of you can ask money from me. It's not gonna happen. Or if it does, you won't know. You've gone to that place to contemplate that. You haven't gone there yet, eh? No? You haven't
No.
gone there yet. You haven't gone there yet. In my 50s, I went there kasi wala akong pera eh. Gagawin ko. Makabili nga ng loto. Kakatamad bumili ng loto, pero makabili nga. And then of course, for a couple of months, puta, hindi talaga tumatama. Scam ata ito eh. But the ones who have, the ones who have, their lives change or their lives don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do if I hit that jackpot at age 70. I don't know.
What's happening now is I'm trying to understand something out of what you've been through, sir. Kasi I haven't really talked to an artist with your wisdom
Age.
and wisdom and wisdom and yun nga. Kasi I've been trying to study certain patterns. Kasi when I've been reading books on succeeding, it's all about the patterns that you recognize. So from what I've heard from your stories is there are certain patterns that have stayed the same and you've even admitted to some of them. And yun nga, sir, I think the most interesting I've heard from your story, which I think is really brief for now. I think we can have more conversations para I can dig more information out of you. Pero yun nga, one thing I really learned from our conversation now was the changes, they happen underground eh. Kumbaga, when I ask you to describe the art scene during the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, you would say it was FPJ-ish, the Arab-ish. The same is happening now with, diba? The same is happening now, and the artworks like what we're pouring in and contributing to society that would hope to bother people are still not moving. Alam mo yun, millions, and the nice things pa rin, the less transgressive stuff, the less bothersome works are the ones that would make you rich.
Oro Plata Mata.
I've seen the movie.
You think that would have made money?
No.
Di ba?
Yes.
Kasi parang, si Peke, tinira yung mayayaman, pinalabas na yung mayayaman, traidor. And then, worst of all, puta, tinake over ni Abu de la Cruz. Yung inkargado, naging boss. Tapos ginahasa yung anak ng, is that gonna sell? Is that gonna sell? But that's, to me, one of the most authentic summations of Philippine history in cinema. I love Oro Plata. I watched it in 82 and I watched it maybe a couple of months ago, Himala. Iba yung pag-unawa ko ng Himala ngayon as an older person. But it hasn't changed. Iba rin talaga ang tingin ni Ishma eh. But those were ECP. Yun ang funny dun, binigyan ni Amy Marcos ng 1 million lahat yun para i-produce. And these guys came out with something uncompromising. Now, of course, Amy wanted to capitalize on being like the, what do you call that, the impresario of great film. Didn't last for long because, of course, they got overthrown. But at least you had Boatman. Are you familiar with Boatman? Hanapin mo yung unang kinasikat. Siyempre, sumikat si Ronald Lazaro sa Oro Plata. Damn, I mean, he was my friend after that eh. He was way thinner and he's just a real regular feral guy. Yung natural na tao si Ronnie, kaya masarap maging kaibigan. And what he was doing in Oro Plata is like, man, ito yung hindi artista na magaling. Although ano naman yan, drama workshop product ni Peke yan sa Bacolod. But parang there's such a naturalness about him that it was so convincing. Sarap, yung naka-invest ka sa character niya eh. So when they finally rescue Sherry Hill, mas mong pumalakpak eh. And then suddenly, si Manny Castañeda suddenly yung retarded na kamag-anak ng tagapagmana ng lahat. Di ba yung huling eksena? Si Manny Castañeda yun is put up to be some kind of slow learner in the family. And yet he inherits everything after the war. Parang, pinatay nila lahat ng tulisan para manahin nung... Parang, paano bibenta yung sining yun? Yung walang happy ending. Pero happy ka kasi at least, di ba, nabuhay si Ronnie, naligtas nila si Sherry Hill, hindi na naging chope si Joel Torre. I mean, all of those things, the coming of age.
Yeah.
Galing, putang, ang galing ni Peke. I mean, I think I'd watched it 3 times only, and then of course,
It's on Netflix, sir. It's remastered on Netflix. Yeah.
Sige, I should go again. I should enjoy it again one more time.
Mm.
And then, anong pangalan nung niya? Anong pangalan? They all shared a great cinematographer. Galing na cinematographer nila eh. Hindi ko alam si Conrado Baltasar o si isa pa eh. May isa pa eh. May isang matinik na cinematographer that they all worked with. It was, yung parang, I wouldn't say golden age, but these are moments that you say, okay, hindi ko kakalimutan yung sining yan. The rest, yun nga, FPJ, Paquito Diaz, di ba? Alam mo na yung plot. Or, sino ba mga pogi boys nung panahon na yun? Siyempre kayo, inabot nyo na sila, Jano Gibbs, etc. The works, no? There's all the rom-com stuff, the Andrew E. Jano Gibbs. I mean, it's all great entertainment, but not many people want to go into this complicated underpinnings of Philippine society that they attempt to unravel. And I think these guys did. Tinimbang ka, Maynila sa kuko, tawag na ba, yung mamamatay rin lang naman si Bembol sa iskinita sa Quiapo, di ba? Mamamatay lang sa doon. Gugulpihin rin sa ng gang. But who cares? He had his moment, si Julio Madiaga, no? Ang ganda, when you come back, may delay ng cinematographer mo.
Yun, sir, it's sad lang din. I don't know.
No, there should be more, but what to do? No, I think naman recently there is more, but they're also not making as much money as we think we want
Yeah,
them
exactly
to.
nga, sir. Exactly nga my point. So, I think what's sad about it is, baka kailangan i-rethink what works and what, kasi I would like art to spearhead the movement.
Art is capitalized. So
Exactly, yun nga, sir.
it has to respond to all of the patronage. It really does.
Yun nga, sir.
It's either that or you're into obscurity and you wait for the obscurity to just have stood the test of time. Many of my peers are waiting for the moment that their obscurity might be revealed by time. Sabi ko, but if your obscurity was a safe one, might not
Are
be.
you ba? Are you?
No, ako nga, I'm worried about the whole idea that I'll be completely forgotten. Because not that I am trying to over-dramatize it, but I always ask the question na sinong gumawa ng 3 sculpture sa Makati, nobody can answer my question. They've forgotten the great guy who made them. You know who? Can you answer the question?
Which sculptures?
Gabriela Silang, Pio del Pilar, and Sultan Kudarat. Sige.
Sino?
The one who made the Bonifacio movement is Guillermo Tolentino. The one who made the Makati monuments is Jose Mendoza, one of the guys who might actually have been the next successor of Tolentino. Still alive, very active. He's in his 80s working in Cavite,
Yeah.
in Calamba.
And the sad thing is I can bump into him sa mall and not know him.
And he doesn't care.
And he doesn't care.
And he doesn't care because he doesn't care about that. He cares about doing great stuff. But Mang Jo is also like a, outlier and doesn't really care. The other most famous artwork that Mang Jo did, which has been taken out by real estate requirements, is the three-dimensional map or the two-dimensional high relief map of the Philippines in Luneta. That was under him.
Oh.
He had that. I mean, he supervised the making of that. The other thing that most people don't know is he also made the dinosaurs beside. Di ba sa Luneta, sa tourism,
really?
mga dinosaurs. Kanya rin yan.
So,
Yan. Kasi Luneta, Luneta admin,
yeah.
But yeah, I do not know if he likes to talk, but that is one interesting Filipino artist, si Jose Mendoza, for sure. But that's the problem. You see, no, people don't even know Jose Mendoza, and that's already something that is seen by millions of people every month. Honestly, they're in the roads of Makati. You curse at them when you're in a red light. Olympic na yan, no? And yet they are not known.
Yeah.
So sabi ko, am I going to be remembered by anyone? I don't think so. Yung gumagawa ng dila, sabi niya, sino yun? Oh. Remember that. Remember that when you start having illusions that you might be remembered. Because these guys have done it's overwhelmingly great. Pieta sa Sukat by Castrillo. Have you ever buried anybody in Loyola Memorial Park in Marikina?
No.
You haven't seen the Transfiguration? One of the biggest public sculptures by Castrillo, Christ floating up from the 12 apostles.
Not yet.
I
I haven't
know.
been inside.
That's great work. That is work done for the public. Bantayog ng mga bayani, you've seen that.
Which one is
Quezon Ave, corner EDSA, Bantayog ng mga bayani, yung nakaluhod yung
That's
bayani na
Castrillo.
binubuhat ng Pilipina. Castrillo rin yan. But like I said niya, Ed did some of the most evocative public monuments which we mark with our national sentiment. Can you imagine nga, say, kita tayo sa EDSA monument sa Campaginaldo. Why? Because people felt it's appropriate to express this sentiment in front of the spirit of EDSA. I will be nasty and say we might be able to forget who made the Lady of Dying in the EDSA monument in Robinsons. Because that isn't exactly the most grandiose Mother Mary of all. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The Virgin Mary near the overpass, ano? Some of us nicknamed it the Lady of Dying. Kasi nakatsapat yung mukha ng Virgin Mary. Siyempre, lumaki tayo sa European model na, she's a voluptuous, beautiful Eurasian or European woman. So, yeah. Maybe that might be something you really don't have to remember. But Castrillo, please. Castrillo naman, di ba?
Yeah. Do you have any hopes, ba? For what's happening now?
Like I said, okay. Like I said, do you remember who the unionists were who worked for you to have a Saturday and Sunday off?
No.
Exactly. But because they were there, all obscure millions of them, it's still there. So sabi ko, if you don't belong to a big wave of a community, then maybe there might not be hope. Personally, it's hard. I've cried a lot and I've felt disappointed a lot. Pero sabi ko, but you can only choose to be on the side of what you think. We use this word. We can only hope to be on the right side of history. So we go there. We hit blindly on the right side of history. Hoping every day that I wake up that I'm not immobilized is a day of hope. Every day that I have not declared to myself, screw you, I'd like to enjoy a couple of 100 million here and, go to some palazzo in Venice and not care about what's happening to all of you. Then maybe I might say, okay, I've succeeded to sell myself out for the right price and I don't need to give a shit. But since I've never done that and I also haven't hit the lottery, so I say, Folks, pwede ba kausapin mo sarili mo? Hindi ka naman tatama sa assisting. Hindi ka naman tatama sa loto. Huwag ka namang, okay naman maging maangas ng konti kasi may self-confidence. Wala ka namang pera pang angas. Chill ka lang, makisama ka rin sa tao. Diba? Makisama ka sa tao. Now, pipiliin mo ngayon kung aling bahagi ng lipunan ang pakikisamahan mo. And that's the only hope that I can aspire to leave behind. Kasi yun ang pinili ko eh. People will criticize me for the life I've lived. Sabi ko, yes, you have to take me on the choices I've made and on the people I've allied myself to. And I can 100% guarantee that I have not allied myself to the big earners, so I don't have that big earning. But I might have allied myself with a couple of people who've said some things that might hope to work to improve the situation of people. I don't know. Diba?
Yeah. Sure.
We try eh.
You try.
We try eh. Wala naman tayong choice eh. We try eh. When you stop trying or you give up completely or you say, pwede ba ako mag-anchor? Malaki ata eh. As long as, I put in the right combination of insult. You've heard of the word AC/DC, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Sabi ko, if I play the AC/DC game right enough, I will get somewhere and make money. Is that what I want to do with my life? Yan ang tanong mo. Yan ang tanong mo. Do we have hope? Or at least we say that baka tandaan nila na diyan naman kumampihan nung kailangan ng kampihan dun, kumampihan eh. Sana matandaan. But yeah, we'll die, man.
Yeah.
We'll die.
Mm.
We'll die. We are mortal. I have seen it. I've lost 12 of the 16, so I am very sure of what I'm talking about. Those 16 guys that I wanted to share my life with in 76, in 78, 12 of them are gone. So I'm aware of it. That's why I'm a cantankerous old bastard when it comes to time. Sabi ko, my time is on earth is precious. I really want to use it well. Totoo. You'll ramdam mo na, wala ka na eh. There's really no other, wala nang pep talk. Hindi na, when the despair enters your soul and you realize, oh my God. And yet that same despair is also a kind of orgiastic pleasure when you realize, I made good use of my time. If you ever come to a moment na, anong ginawa ko nung panahon na yun? Did I make good decisions? Parang okay naman eh. Kumampi ba ako sa tamang laban nung panahon eh? Parang oo naman. Parang nandun naman ako sa panig na yun. Ngingiti ka sa sarili mo. Okay, next. Diba? At least parang, wala na pala akong pag-asa. No, at least you tell yourself, can be better next time, can be even bolder, can, put on more guts, more decisive. Try again.
And sir, this was very reflective.
Hopefully.
And I hope this was one of I didn't waste your time.
No,
with
I
the
said
questions.
yes. I said yes. I gave you as many answers as I think I've come to realize correctly.
And I failed to answer a lot of your questions in terms of
That is on you, man. Sorry, you all have to know who the guys who made Monumento and Bonifacio are. Oo naman, artist naman tayo. You want to be remembered?
Not really.
You owe it to them.
Yeah.
No, if you want to be remembered, then remember those who were before you. I think that's just a good negotiation.
Yes.
You want to be remembered, you have to also give credit where it was due.
Yes, of course. And this was a very informative.
And these guys are not pipichogin, ha? These are big time.
These are big time.
These are not small guys like us who do private shows. No, they are in the view of millions per day.
Mm-hmm.
So, every time nadadaan ka sa MRT galing sa Balintawak at makikita mo, okay gawa ni Tolentino, di ba?
Yeah.
And then of course, when you get to know Guillermo Tolentino, what a man. What a man. Conservative thinker maybe, but what a guy. So parang ganun rin, ha? Nagkakaroon ka naman ng pride na, may Pilipino rin na ganun katinik na parang katumbas natin ni Rodan. Di ba?
Yeah.
As was Joe Mendoza. Galing ni Joe Mendoza.